Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone, and today we are smoking on, what are we smoking on? We're smoking on some shred, some Tropical Thunder shred in the bong. I think I did that last time too. I'm still on it. I like it, man. It's pretty good. I was surprised with the shred how potent and like sticky it was. It stayed fresher longer, I guess, or it seems to, or maybe I don't know, but it's awesome. I really enjoyed it. And then today in the joint, we're smoking a little, what's in this? Blue gelato mixed with a little headband, because I'm still on my headband kick, baby. I've been having a good time smoking this headband. The blue gelato is pretty awesome too. It's the blue gelato is 27% THC and it's a hybrid. Makes you feel all fun and happy and a little bit energetic. The Tropic Thunder is an indica, and it's 18%, I believe, 18 or 19%. And it's kind of like it's like a mellow, middle of the road, sort of cool, relax, giggle kind of indica. And then headband, like I said, is a sativa, and I think it's about 18 or 19% as well from Palmetto. And that makes your head feel like you put on a headband after you smoke it. So I really enjoy it. And it's an up weed. It makes you feel good and happy and have a good time. So it's pretty awesome. Hope you guys are having a good week, or had a good week since it's Friday at 4:20. Hope you're enjoying the sesh. Got your bowls going, your joints rolled, maybe a dab or two. I don't know. But I hope you have a good one. Hope you have a good weekend, and I hope you enjoy this sesh. This sesh is going to be a little bit more serious, I think, because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about a couple of different things. But essentially, the tone of the conversation basically went to ambition and having ambition. And so, well, here, I'll just start it off a bit. I'll explain it the way that it was sort of the way that we talked about it. So we were talking about this podcast, what I do for the podcast, a couple other things I do for fun, and I'm trying to succeed at, I guess you could say. Now, with this whole pandemic, it's giving me the opportunity to try these things. Because of the lack of being able to go anywhere, do anything, and, just generally have a life. So, I started up this podcast. Now, one of the things that he was saying, and a lot of people are in this situation, and I totally understand it, and I'm not down on anybody that's in a situation like this. But in Canada, in Ontario specifically, we have a CERB benefit. I think it's called the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit. I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, put in the comments, correct me. I'm not 100% sure. But basically the way it works is that you get like a $500 stipend per week to live off of. So every couple of weeks you get a payment of $1,000. Now, that's not enough to live on. As a single person, you might be able to squeak by from it. In my case, I've got three dependents. So it's a little bit tougher. So, I can't necessarily rely just on that money alone. Or I couldn't rely on that money alone if I was in that situation, I guess I should say. So his whole thing was that, well, the government should be giving you more to live off, essentially saying that you should be given a bunch of money to be able to live off of without having to do anything because of the state of emergency. Now, here's my overall view of this thing. If the government says that you have to stay home and is saying like, we have a state of emergency, you need to stay home, then yes, they should be paying you to stay home. They should be supplementing your income because they've requested that. I believe that 100%. Now, here's the flip side of that. That doesn't mean that you can't still do something. That doesn't mean that you still can't change your situation and add to it. The age of technology that we live in now allows you to do a lot of different things and find a lot of different ways to build an income. Essentially, if you look at this situation positively, I guess you could say, is that this situation is sort of the ideal spot to reset yourself. Because when we come out of all of this, the whole world's essentially going to be reset to a certain degree, I think. I don't really know. I'm talking a bunch of shit and smoking weed. Oh, speaking of which, let's light this bad boy. Hope you guys are having a good smoke. But yeah, so instead of looking at this as a negative scenario where you can't affect anything that's happening to you, you're essentially stuck in being told to do something, I disagree with that. I think that this is the ideal spot to turn everything around. It's like I said, it's like a reset. Like you get to essentially try to do the things that you've wanted to do because you have more time and more opportunity to do that. Now, this conversation kept coming back to the fact that, in my opinion, a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but essentially in my opinion, with the conversation I was having with this friend of a friend, there was a certain expectation that somebody else take care of you. Nobody else has to fucking take care of you. Let's get that straight. And if you're willing to just live off of $500 a week and try to be content with that and gripe and moan, I'm sorry, but I believe that you have a lack of ambition. Because ambition is what carries you to the next level. Ambition is what gets you to say, hey, this situation sucks. What can I do to change it? Ambition is the thing that comes from a goal, from a mindset of achievement. And I think that this scenario has kind of put everybody in a position where they have a choice to go one way or the other in their mindset. One is either, okay, this is a great spot, great opportunity. I get to try something or do something new that I've always wanted to try. I get to implement maybe trying to start up a new business or something like that. Or they've gone the flip of that and been like, well, you're telling me to stay home, so make me rich. Like, no, man. I don't give a fuck. If whatever your plight in life is, in terms of finance, you can change that. You have the opportunity to change that. But it's fucking up to you to do that. It's not up to somebody else to say, hey, here, you're right there. Cool. Now live. No, fuck that shit, man. You have to have a sense of responsibility. You have to have a sense of worth. And you have to have a fucking sense of accomplishment. You have to have that. If you don't, you know what ends up happening, man? You end up living in a fucking basement, griping and moaning about all the fucking problems that are bestowed on you. Fuck that shit. Life happens. Okay? Shit goes wrong. Absolutely. You make bad choices. You make bad decisions. You get put in positions like this where you have no control over it. But you always have control over your ambition. Always. And you always have the ability to have ambition. If you want to. If you just want a handout, then yeah, you're going to fuck off and basically say, hey, the world owes me something. The world doesn't owe you a goddamn fucking thing. You owe it to yourself and the world to put in work. Do your shit. Be you. Fucking move forward. Progress. And that doesn't mean that I'm not saying like you can't help other people. Other people don't deserve help. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they do. And I'm saying that the ways that you can help people differ. And financially is not the way to help people all of the time. Because people need something to work for. Excuse me, I need coffee. People need something to work for. People need to have something to stretch and reach out about. And as soon as you accept the fact that you don't have that and you decide that, okay, well, I can't get it unless someone gives it to me, fuck you, man. I'm sorry, but fuck you. Because you get it. You get what you want. You get what you put into shit. You get whatever the level of effort that you put into it is the shit that is the rewards that you get back. If you're in a negative mindset all the time, if everybody's always doing something to you, if somebody's always wronged you in some kind of way, maybe it's time to sit down and fucking think about what your influence on all those situations were. Because you are the motherfucker that all this stuff is circled around. You're the center. You're the center of negative attention because you keep bringing the negative attention onto yourself. You keep trying to find somebody that's sympathetic to your plight of financial woes, emotional issues, whatever the fucking problem is. The only way to deal with any of those problems is to fucking pick up your pants, put on your grown-up pants. Don't pick the kid pants. There's a time for that, but it's not now. The time for that is done. It is now time to put on your fucking grown-up pants and move forward. Put some fucking effort in. And you know what the sad part is about this whole situation? Is that I hear a lot of people, because I've had more than one conversation about this, but I hear a lot of people talking about, well, I was successful in the past. Great. But not all successes stay forever, man. You got to be able to move forward. You got to be adaptable. You got to move. You have to grow. You got to have a growth mindset. You got to have a fucking growth attitude. And you got to have, to a certain extent, you got to be a bit of a dick. Because you got to say, well, this is what I want, so I'm going to fucking get it no matter what. That's the level of intent and dedication you need to have to whatever it is that you're trying to fix. It doesn't matter if it's financial. It doesn't matter if it's emotional. It doesn't matter if it's mental. Whatever it is, you have to put in that fucking effort. You cannot sit there. This, again, is my opinion. You cannot sit there, okay, and just wallow in it. You can't wait for somebody to fucking reward you. People don't work that way. You want to be rewarded, you need to show people why you need that reward, why you deserve that reward. Whatever it is, it doesn't, again, it's not just financial. I know this conversation started off with financial, but it's not just that. There's a whole, set of levels to this thing. And if you reach one level and you're super successful, then all of a sudden you drop off. All that means is that now you have the tools to get to that level, so you should be able to level up from where you were at the top of your peak. You should be able to do that, man. Fuck. I get so fucking frustrated with negativity, just period. There's so much griping and whining and moaning and bitching about, oh, well, this happened to me and this or that. Yeah, I get it. But I almost guarantee you that whatever your thing was, whatever your issue is, somebody's in a worse position and has a more positive attitude than you do. I can guarantee that. You can find somebody on this planet that has next to nothing and is in a tough situation and can't really change it, or is trying to and just keeps hitting the same walls over and over again, but still has this positive attitude. You can find that. The people that are, especially I'm in Canada, right? So in the Western world, in North America, you have no fucking reason to complain about your situation because you could change it like that. And I don't mean that things change overnight, but you can change it. You have a direct effect on what's happening to you. You're not in a spot where you're being, completely controlled, pushed down and suppressed. That's not happening. Not over here. I understand that there are, different issues that we're having, I get that. I'm not saying that those aren't legit or they don't apply to this. Because those are different. Though, any sort of racial tensions and things like that, there can be a change made. But again, that's a situation where you're being pushed down and oppressed. What I'm saying is, in terms of yourself, in terms of your emotion, in terms of governing you and where you're at and your plight in life, you have every opportunity to change that. I don't care if you're fucking 10 years old or if you're 65. Okay? You can change your fucking plight in life, no matter what it is. And all it comes down to is having some goddamn ambition. That's it. Just have a fucking little ambition. Want to change it. Want to make the improvement. Stop fucking wallowing in the shit, man. Excuse me, I need a puff. Have a puff. Hope you're enjoying the sesh. I get that this is a bit of a rant. But seriously, I don't know about you guys. I don't know about, you guys that are listening, watching, whatever. But I cannot stand this fucking flood of negativity. Ugh. It's one of the most frustrating things to me. Because I'm more than willing, if I can, to help a friend out, to help anybody out. Like, fuck, I'll bust down doors for you if I have to. But at some point, you have to take the reins, and you have to take over, and you have to do for you. Because there's only so much I can do. I can't puppeteer you. Nobody can puppeteer you. Nobody that has the ability to help you can make you do all of the things that you need to do to get to where you want to be. It's only you. It's only ambition. Fuck, I'm frustrated about this. And then on top of that, okay, so here's another thing. If you're in that spot, if you're a person that's constantly finding himself or herself talking about, how tough things are and how rough things, what am I trying to say? Okay, so if you're constantly in that frame of mind where somebody else has an influence over where you're at, you honestly need to take a real good look at yourself and be like, why do I feel like that? Because there's some point, I think, again, my opinion, I think you've just given up on either one, your capabilities, two, the overall general, hope of life. Seriously. And the last thing, I guess, would be that you've totally given up on any kind of personal growth or progress. That's not the way to be. I'm sorry. Again, my opinion, but that's not the way to be. I've dealt with a lot of stupid, fucked up shit. I've helped other people deal with some fucked up shit. And the thing that I've always found in those positions is that no matter what happens, no matter how bad everything seems to be at the time, no matter, financially, emotionally, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter, man. However bad it seems at the time, all you got to do is work through it, because you're going to get through it. One way or another, you're getting through that shit. But you need to take the time to also learn from that shit. You need to learn from the people that are around you that have gone through stuff like that, and not just try to sit there and say, hey, look, I have this problem, but it's not my problem. Don't talk to me, or don't answer this question as if it's my issue when I ask you this. Do you know what I'm saying? If they do that, they say, hey, here's the thing that I think. It's not about me, but you can clearly tell it's about them. So you have to sort of high step all their bullshit to make it not seem like you're talking about them, but you're talking about them. And then what happens is you try to keep the discussion general, but then eventually they get offended by it. Because I've been there, I've been that guy. And in that situation, when you're starting that conversation, that it's going to come back around to you. You want information from the people around you. You don't want to admit to the issue that you're talking about. But at the same time, you want information. Then when you hear what you don't like, because it's stuff that that you're not changing about yourself, you shut down and you close the conversation off and you walk the fuck away. That passive-aggressive attitude fucks you up, man. You have to be open to the idea that somebody might know something. If you ask a question, you need to shut the fuck up and you need to listen to the answer. And if it's a good answer, you need to digest that information, not just come back with the opposing position to it. Because all it does is essentially stagnate your ability to process anything. Emotionally, mentally, or whatever. And the more that you start to recognize that within yourself and you start to stop yourself from doing that, things change, man. And again, it doesn't change like that, but certain things change really quickly. You'll start to notice that surroundings seem a lot brighter and happier and uplifting. It's shit like that. There's always a positive. There's always a positive that comes out of something, man. For example, I got an implanted defibrillator because of a heart condition I have. Okay? Most people would be super upset about this and be like, oh, fuck, man, I gotta rely on this thing. Not me. Nope. I'm like, hey, you can shoot me and I'll still live. Because it keeps the blood and heart pumping, even if there's holes. Okay? So look, you can take anything you want and make it a bad thing. Now, granted, I haven't lost limbs or anything like that, but you can take any situation and find the fun in it. I've talked about that before, finding the fun, and that's my whole goal. But yeah, I can't get over how fucking negative people get. And I understand that like I said, with this whole, with the pandemic and everything, it makes it definitely makes it tougher because in one hand you are being asked to stay home. You're being asked, to in a lot of cases you're being told that you're giving up an income and now, you need to have it supplemented. And I believe that, the government asking you to do that should supplement it, but they shouldn't make you rich over it. I mean, let's be honest. They need to give you enough money so that you can eat. That's really it. It's then up to you to figure out a way to supplement the rest of that income if you've been laid off or, left your job or whatever the situation. Now, again, what I'm talking about here is people that can actually affect their situation. And the people that can affect their situation who have this overall mindset of, well, I can't do that. Yes, you fucking can. Just fucking do it. That's how this podcast came about. Dude, I started this in August on Anchor doing audio only. Okay? And then, I got a little bit of a following. I had some people that were returning to listen. I got some great information from a few different people on Twitter and one main source, and you know who you are, brother. And I took that and I ran with it because I thought, well, okay, I'm in a different position now than I was a year ago, so I got to figure out a way. That's my ambition. I've always wanted to do something like this, and I guess to a certain extent, I've been too afraid to do something like this. But now I've got the opportunity to try that and do this thing here. And it's fun as shit. And I hope you enjoyed this rant. But yeah, no, that's the way I look at situations like that. In a negative, I get worried, I get scared, I get afraid for sure. But when a negative situation pops up, I've gone through enough of them in a variety of different ways in life to understand that no matter what it is, you have to just get through it. And if you have enough ambition, like with my heart condition, the ambition I had there, because you'd be like, oh, well, where's the ambition in a heart condition? You just either fixed or you're not. The ambition is to stay alive, man. So instead of being down on something, I looked at it positively because I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna live. Now, not as a baby, but when I got old enough to understand what was happening, my mindset was always, this ain't a thing. Let's just keep doing, And that was it. So the ambition was to live there. Now the ambition is to find a way to live the life that I want to live under the circumstances that I want to live it. Because with the pandemic going on, with the situation the way that it is, it's tough to figure out what to do. So now it's time to try the things that I've always wanted to do. Ambition, motherfucker. That's all I'm saying. Put in effort, and I guarantee you your mindset will change from why don't they to how can I? Because if you start asking yourself, how can I? You'd be in a way better position already, man. If you're mentally in a good position, your surrounding and your situation around you will change. It will, for sure. I know. I can tell you from experience. I've had to do that. I've gone, like I said before, I've gone from wanting to drive face first into a tree to, okay, how do I get back to the fun me? The one that I liked back, when I was younger in high school, early university, I joked around all the time and just had a good time. I don't want to be a grown-up. I want to be a kid. I just want to have a good fucking time, shoot the shit, and make some money in the process, really. That's my ambition. Whatever your ambition is, just have it, dude. Have your ambition. And stop fucking expecting other people to pull you out of a hole that you've dug for yourself. In every case, there can't be an outside influence. I'm sure in certain cases there were outside influences beyond your control. Yes, that happens to everyone. But fuck, man, you can still change it. No matter what you do, you can change it. As long as you decide that you're going to change it. Because you have to take the reins and you got to do it for your fucking self. Alright, I've hammered that home. Holy shit, I love this weed, dude. I hope you guys had a good sesh. That's my thought off the stem for this week. It was probably a little bit of overload. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the sesh. I hope you come back next week at 4:20 on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and again, back here on YouTube. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, I gotta say again. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, hit the like button. Let people know. Join the sesh, baby. I just want to have a good time, talk some shit. That's all that's happening over here. If you're on Anchor, why don't you hop over to YouTube, have a video sesh, and subscribe. Subscribe and hit the like button too. Subscribe on Anchor. Thanks, guys, for coming. And again, I hope you come back next week. And, oh yeah, don't forget to check out the Tots Linktree in the description, in the Linktree on Instagram, Linktree on Twitter. Where else do I have it? Linktree on Facebook. I think it's on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, though. So look out for that and check out our merch. You can pick up some hoodies, some hats, all kinds of different stuff. Stickers, wall art. I got all kinds of stuff. Check it out. Until next time, keep your lids low, baby.